everyone, thank you for joining me today. It's just going to be a nice, calming, relaxing practice. I'm just going to clip my hair out of the way. And whilst I'm doing that, please check to make sure that the area that you're practicing is safe, that if you move your arms or your legs out, you're not going to knock anything and nothing's going to fall on you. I've got my yoga mat. I've got a cushion for later for when we finish our practice. But if you don't have a cushion, you can have blocks if you want to sit on at the end of practice. I've got my water, so if you haven't got water, go and grab some. And always remember, drink whenever you need to drink, rest when you need to rest. And if you need to modify, please modify. And if you're not too sure on anything, please drop me an email and I'll get back to you. So let's come and start. We're starting straight away in tabletop. So once you get to tabletop, spread those fingers wide, soften the knuckles off the fingers. Shoulders are over the wrists. Shoulder blades are in neutral on the back of the rib cage, and then your pelvis is in neutral. So the knees are underneath the hips, but you can bring the knees in a little bit closer to help you come to neutral. Feet can be flat on the floor or toes are tucked. I've got my toes tucked. And then just look down towards your mat, but not dropping the head down or jutting that chin up. And inhale through the nose. Relax the jaw. Soft, easy exhale through slightly parted lips. Inhale. Widen full sides back of the rib cage. Soft, easy exhale through slightly parted lips. Soften the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. And I've got softness in my elbows. And then from here, keeping that breath going, just gently wag the hips from side to side. So just imagine that you're wagging your tailbone, the base of your spine from side to side. And just work with your own range of movement. Eyes can be open now, or you can close them if that feels more comfortable for you. And then just let that breath flow. And then I'm just gently wagging my hips down towards my heels. So if you've got your toes tucked, your heels will probably be a little bit higher. Keep the softness in the elbows. And then just slowly work yourself all the way up, shoulders over wrists. And you just carry on wagging here. And I'm just having a little one more wag down to my heels. And I'm slowly wagging all the way back up. And then from here, I'm coming into rolling hip circles. And you're just going to work with your own range of movement. And this is nice to do with your eyes closed. Just keep those fingers soft and just keep the breath flowing. Keep the movement slow. Moving with ease. And the breath is soft. Let's do one more circle in this direction. And the next time your shoulders are over the wrist, just slowly change direction. Keep that movement nice and slow. Working with your own range of movement. And then just check back in with the breath. That soft, easy breath. I'm going to do one more circle. Move our shoulders over our wrists. And then from here, I'm just going to bring that left lower arm down towards the floor, spreading those fingers wide. Try not to press too down. Oh, can't get my words right. Try not to press too hard through that hand. Left elbow, left shoulder, and I've got my right wrist still underneath my right shoulder. Coming into single leg hip circles on the right. So I'm going to float that right knee off the floor and then just gently circling at that hip joint. Working again with your own range of movement. and then slowly change direction. And then from here, keep that right leg still off the floor, push down for that right hand, slide that left palm flat in line with that right hand, have a little lean to the left, step that right foot forward and wide, so like a lizard, so your hands are on the inside of that right foot. I'm tucking my left toes, shoulders over wrists, and then from here I'm just floating my hips back slightly and I'm just rocking out onto my right heel and then slowly floating shoulders over wrists, slowly floating hips back, coming onto that right heel. But you can keep that foot flat on the floor if that feels more comfortable for you. Let's do one more. And then from here, place that right palm on that right thigh. Slowly bring the ribs and the belly round to the right. Checking that the shoulder, left wrist, and just maybe releasing that left ear towards that left shoulder, just pausing here. Checking in with the breath. Option to bring the fingertips, right fingertips to the right shoulder, and then you can just backstroke the arm, elbow on the right. And let's do one more. And then from here, just release the right palm to the right thigh and just gently heel toe in, my right foot in, so I can slowly come up into a 90-90 kneeling lunge. I'm going to bring the top of my left foot to the floor. Checking your base, so just bring your hands through to heart center. Palms can be flat or you can bring the thumbs to the heartbeat. And I'm just checking that my pelvis is neutral. Gentle activation of that left glute. Right knee, right ankle, left knee, left hip. So just make any little adjustments that you need to. I'm pushing down to the top of that left foot, lifting out of that left knee. And then from here, I'm just bringing my hands to goddess arms or goalpost arms. Elbows can be a little bit lower than the shoulders or about shoulder height. Soften the hands. We're coming into a rotation. So in a rotation, we're going to keep that pelvis in neutral. It's not going to move. And we're going to rotate through our rib cage. So take a nice deep breath in. And gently rotate round to the right. Just a small range of movement. Slowly come through center. And then rotate round to the left. Come back to center, rotate right, back to center, rotate left. Just let that breath flow. Keep that spine nice and long, crown of the head towards the ceiling. So we're rotating through that thoracic spine where the rib cage is. One more right, through center to left. Slowly come back to center. Reach the fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Have a lovely long stretch. Look straight ahead. Check that you're not jutting that chin up or dropping the head forward. And then just exhale. Just float those arms down. We're coming to an easy chest stretch. So you can either bring the fingertips to the hips or make a big fist and bring that fist towards your sacrum where the vertebrae fuse. Check that you're not pushing that pelvis forward or thrusting the ribs forward, and you can just gently open up the chest, pause in here. And then we'll just slowly release or float the hands towards the floor, a little lean left, slide that right foot back, tabletop. And I'm just going to have another little wag of my hips from side to side, but you can stay still. And then from here, just lower the right lower arms to the floor, right shoulder, right wrist, left shoulder, and float that left leg off the floor, and then just gently circle, single leg, hip circles, mobilizing at that hip joint. Check in with the breath, and then slowly change direction of those hip circles. And then keeping that leg up, sliding that right hand back, lean right, step that left foot forward wide, 90-90 lizard. Foot's on the outside of the hands. I've got my right toes tucked and I'm just going to float those hips back, rolling onto that left heel, foot flat on the floor, shoulders over wrists. We've got 3 more to do. 2 more. And last one. And then from here, left palm to the left thigh, gently bring the belly and the ribs round to the left, right shoulder, right wrist, maybe releasing that right ear towards that right shoulder, checking there's no tension in the head or the neck. And then option to bring the left fingertips to the left shoulder, and then just backstroke that arm. And then we'll just release that palm to that thigh and just gently heel toe my feet in so I can come into that 90-90 kneeling lunge. Set your base, hands through to heart center or palms. Check your base, bring the top of the right foot to the floor, push down to the top of that right foot, lift out that right knee, pelvis in neutral, so those 2 hip points are pointing straight ahead. Bring the arms to your goddess arms. And then coming back to that rotation. So inhale, lovely long spine, that gentle rotation, round to the left, through center, and then round to the right. Just a small range of movement, just rotating through the ribs. Just keep that spine nice and long. Just allow the breath to flow, crown of the head towards the ceiling. We've got 2 more. And then last one. And then we have that lovely long stretch, reaching out of that right knee, pushing down for that right foot, reach those fingers up towards the ceiling, check that you're not dropping the head back or forward. And just release those arms down to the side of the body. Come into that chest stretch, so you can take a nice easy chest stretch here, or you can make a fist. Checking that you're not pushing that pelvis forward, just gently opening out that chest. And then just release the hands, slowly bring the palms to the floor, slide it back to tabletop. And then from here, you will have the option of either coming down onto your forearms or staying in tabletop. And I'm just coming into a gentle cat-cow. So whether you're on your forearms, you've got your shoulders in line with the wrists. If you're in your palms, you've got your wrists in line with the shoulders, and it's a gentle cat-cow. So I'm starting with my cat. So I'm just taking a nice deep breath in, exhaling, and just puffing up through my upper back. Work with your own range of movement. Just release that head, and then you just slowly on inhale, lengthen out that spine. Just allow that chest to float forward. Just be careful of the neck and that lower back. Coming into cat. And then coming into that gentle cow. You can lift the head, but try not to jut that chin up. 1 more. And then we'll slowly come to neutral. And then from here, I'm just swiveling around onto my right side. And then I'm slowly coming all the way down, using my right lower arm as a pillar. So we're side lying, coming into plank. So if you've done Pilates, you've probably done these before. So the knees can be forward or they can be a little bit away from you. Check that that spine's nice and long, pelvis in neutral, that you're not rolling the head forward. That's what I tend to do. So I need to make sure that my head is back, but I'm not jutting up my chin. And then fingertips of the left hand can be on the floor or they can rest on the side of the body. I just like to bring my hands to the hips so I can feel that movement. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked, ankles are stacked. Keep those feet together and you're just going to slowly open that top leg. You don't have to do a big range of movements. Some people can open their leg up a little bit higher, but we're not opening it up so that we're rolling back. We're just a gentle opening and then lowering. I'm saying this is now 5. I may be counting wrong. I'm going for 6, for 7, and for 8. Let's do 2 more. 9 and 10. Hold that there, then float that lower leg off the floor. And then from here we're going to do an internal rotation. So this time the knee's coming down. So bring your awareness to that ball and socket, the hip joint, and you're just rotating in that hip joint. So this is internal rotation. Again, mobilising that hip joint. I've lost count completely now, so I'm going to do 3 more. So 3, 2, and 1. And just slowly lower that leg down. Now we're going to roll onto our backs. We're going to be doing a rolling bridge. So let's set ourselves up first. Pelvis in neutral, pubic bone to hip points, sacrum in contact with the floor, so we've not got a big curve in that lower back, or we're not pressing that lower back down towards the floor, tilting that tailbone up. Feet not too close to your butt, so we've got space for the knees and the lower back. Toes in contact with the floor, spread those toes wide, big toe mounds in contact with the floor, backs of the shoulders, shoulder blades in contact with the floor, so you're broad across the collarbones, the chest is open. Arms can just be down at the side of the palms facing the ceiling, or you might like to bring the hands to the belly so you can feel that you're keeping that pelvis in neutral. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, gently bring that lower back to the floor and then just rolling up into your low bridge. Inhale, wide and full here, checking that that pelvis in neutral and that the knees are going in the direction of your toes. And as you exhale, rolling it back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Lower back comes to the floor, pelvic tilt, and then slowly come back to neutral. Inhale here, and then exhale, pelvic tilt, and then rolling it up, vertebrae by vertebrae, keeping that pelvis in neutral. And then awareness to the feet, spreading those toes wide. And then as you exhale, slowly roll it all the way down, coming to neutral. Just going to carry on, curling up vertebrae by vertebrae, pushing down through the feet, checking that the knees aren't rolling in or out, and then exhale, slowly roll it all the way down. You're just going to carry on. Inhale at the top, pelvis in neutral. Exhale, rolling it down. It's not a big movement and it's not a full yogi bridge. Come up, inhale wide and full. Awareness to those glutes, so those glutes firing up. You can give them a little poke. And then exhale, roll it down. We've got 2 more. Checking in with those feet, are you spreading the toes wide, big toe mounds in contact with the floor. Rolling it down on that exhale. This is your last one. And let's pause here in our last bridge. Glutes are firing up, I can feel my thighs firing up. The arches on my feet are activating, I'm pushing down, spreading my toes wide. Big toe mound in contact with the floor. There's no tension or pressure in my head or neck. And then when you're ready to exhale, slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And now we're going to roll onto your left side for your side lying clam. I'm just going to swivel round so that I'm facing you. So you're using that left lower arm as a pillow. Lovely long spine, checking with that head or neck. Bending those knees, so the knees can be further forward, a little bit further back. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked, ankles are stacked. Keeping the feet in together, just open out that top leg, so it's that right leg, slowly lowering it down. Checking that you're not rolling back as you bring that leg up and you're working with your own range of movement. Just keep breathing. And let's do 2 more. And on the last one, which is this one, you're just going to hold it up. And then our internal rotation, so that knees coming in to the center line and back up. So you're rotating that thigh bone in that hip socket. So it's a ball and socket. So you're just rotating in that hip joint. mobilising that right hip joint. And then slowly, slowly, slowly come back down. So you're on your left and you're just going to slowly pull all the way up to tabletop. And once you get there, come back, set your base, and I'm just going straight into a little wiggle from side to side, wagging that tailbone and looking down towards the floor. And as the hips float right, maybe the head comes to the right, and as the hips float left, maybe the head comes to the left. And if you want to grab a drink, please grab a drink. We will be moving up, so if you haven't got grippy socks on, maybe kick them off so you just don't want to slip on the mat. Because we will be coming up to standing. And then having that little wiggle. And that's me in tabletop. Then from here, we're going to shift the rib cage gently to the left. And then we're going to round up through the back so you come into that cat movement. And then you're going to bring the rib cage over to the right. Then you're going to lower it without dropping the belly, spilling the guts to the floor. This is your barrel roll. You're coming round to the left, puffing up through the upper back like that cow movement. Rib cage to the right, lowering it down so you're coming into that gentle cat movement. And then just let it flow, working with your own range of movement. Keep those elbows soft, neck staying in line with the rest of the spine. Just barrel rolling. And then we're going to do one more. And then we'll have a little lean to the right, step that left foot forward wide, that 90-90 lizard, just pause in here, set your base, shoulders over wrists. And then we're just floating back and forward, just floating those hips back and forward, shoulders over wrists. 2 more. And then 1 more. And then from here, I'm just heel-toe my foot in a little bit closer, bringing my left palm to my left thigh, coming into that kneeling twist, checking in with that neck, pausing here, set your base. Then you've got the option of bringing the fingertips up towards the ceiling. So you're reaching the fingertips all the way up. Right shoulder, right wrist. You're leaning back into that right shoulder blade, but not leaning that arm back, you're reaching straight up. You can stay here, or you can join me. On my next exhale, I'm just floating that arm back down, threading it underneath my left thigh. Maybe you can tap the rib cage, or you can gently bring the hand to your belly. Reaching up, and then slowly lowering down on your exhale, just taking your time. We're just twisting, rotating through that rib cage. We're going to do 2 more. From here, just bring that left palm to the thigh, slowly, slowly, slowly come up to that 90-90 kneeling lunge. Pelvis neutral, bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling. I'm pushing back into the ball of that right foot, lifting out of my right knee. Fingertips are reaching up. And then from here, I'm bending the elbows, coming into the goddess arms. You can pause here, gently opening out that chest. Or you can slide the shoulder blades back to the midline, lifting the chest, but you're not thrusting the ribs forward or that pelvis. Pause in here and breathe. And then take a nice deep breath in, reach fingertips up towards the ceiling, lengthen out that spine. Left palm to the left thigh. We're going to come up, I'm going to have my back towards you, but then I'm going to turn around. So you can see me, you're going to sweetly come up, paralleling the feet, bring the toes in so you're coming into goddess. I'm just going to turn around. So the feet about 45 degrees, only if that feels comfortable on your knees. Your knees are going in the direction of toes. You may need to change the angle of your feet so that the knees feel comfortable. See if you can get that pelvis in neutral, lovely long spine. You don't have to have the feet really far apart. Come into goddess. Elbows can be slightly below the shoulders if you want to, and we're coming into our rotations. So gentle hug in, help keep that pelvis in neutral, and we'll rotate left, through centre, to the right, and just let that breath flow. And then just checking in with those knees going in the direction of the toes. Let's do 2 more each side. And then come back to centre, release those arms. So lengthen out, coming into start. And then just slowly float the arms to shoulder height, and you're just going to slowly wiggle the feet, shuffle those feet, so we come into a right warrior 2. Set your base, spreading those toes wide. Front knee going in the direction of the toes, trying to keep that pelvis in neutral. You've got your head, your ears, your shoulders, your hips. We're not leaning forward. Soften the elbows, just pausing here. And then just lower that right hand down towards the inside of the upper right thigh, palm facing out. And then reach the left fingertips up towards the ceiling, turn that palm out. We're coming into a triangle variation. We're staying here with our front leg bend. And then a little side bend over, but keep those fingertips reaching up towards the ceiling. And then just see if you can slide the back of that right hand towards the inside of that right knee. And then just make sure there's no tension in that neck. Keep reaching up through those left fingertips. And I've just created a little bit of resistance. I'm pushing my knee into my hand into the knee, but that might feel a bit uncomfortable for you, so you can just relax. Just pause in here, triangle variation. And then I'm just looking down towards the floor, just allowing that left hand to float back towards my body, pivoting on that back foot. Bring my left fingertips down, right fingertips down. You may have your palms down. Lizard. Sorry, low lunge. We did lizard at the start. And then from here, I'm just bending that right knee, left knee sits underneath my left hip. And then I'm sliding that right leg back behind me up into the air. Bring that left lower arm down towards the floor, what we did at the start, and then circle that hip joint for 1, for 2, for 3, and for 4. Change direction for 1, for 2, for 3, and for 4. Slowly lower that knee down. And then bring the right lower arm down, or you can stay in tabletop. Let's do 3 cat-cows. So whether you start with your cow or your cat is your choice. Just be careful of that neck and lower back. Just a gentle cat-cow. And then from here, I'm just bringing my big toes together, bringing my knees a little bit further apart, so I can just slide my arms back, flipping my palms to face the ceiling. So I've got my lower arms resting on the floor. Now, if this feels uncomfortable for you, just please come to kneel. And then from here, we're coming into a single nostril breath, piercing the moon. From here, we will be either using our right thumb or our right index finger to gently close our right nostril, and then we'll be inhaling and exhaling through our left nostril. So to start, inhale through both nostrils, wide and full. Soft, easy exhale through both nostrils. Use that right thumb or the index finger, gently close that right nostril. Inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right nostril. And as you inhale, think about directing that breath up between the eyebrows. So you're directing the breath to the space between the eyebrows. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. One more. Slowly release, palms facing the ceiling. Inhale and exhale for both nostrils. And if you're in a child's pose, bring the palms to the floor, slowly float all the way up or meet in tabletop. Grab a drink if you need to. And then from here, we're coming back to our barrel roll. Step your base, rib cage coming to the right and then rounding up, so it's that cat movement. Rib cage over to the left, and you're going to gently lower the rib cage without spilling the guts to the floor. Rib cage to the right and up, to the left and round. Just working with your own range of movement. So as you come low, it's that a bit like that cow movement. As you come high, it's a bit like that cat movement. Keep those elbows soft and always working with your own range of movement. And then from here, we'll come to neutral. We'll step that right foot forward and wide. Pause in here, shoulders over wrist, tuck those left toes and float the hips back towards the heels. So we're not bringing hips all the way back to the heels, it's just a little float. One more. Right palm to that right thigh. I'm just adjusting on my foot, bringing it in a little bit closer. And now coming into that kneeling twist, just pause in here, checking in with that head and neck. You can stay here. Or you can reach the fingertips straight up towards the ceiling. Left shoulder, left wrist, just leaning back into that left shoulder blade. Now you can stay here or you can join me. So take a nice deep breath in. When you're ready to exhale, slowly lower the arm down, frozen it underneath the right thigh. And then maybe fingertips to the rib or just bringing the hand to the belly, reaching up on the inhale. Exhale to lower. And just slowly come all the way up. Just taking your time. We've got 2 more. This is my last one. And then from here, I'm bringing that right palm to the thigh, just in my first arm, coming to that 90-90 kneeling lunge, pelvis in neutral, reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, pushing back onto the ball of that left foot, left glute is on. And then bend at those elbows, goddess arms, and you can draw the shoulder blades into the midline. So there's a little back bend here, so you're checking that you're not thrusting the ribs forward or that pelvis. And then we'll inhale, lengthen out, reaching up. And then right palm to the right thigh, just releasing that left arm, slowly coming up, parallel with the feet, toes are level, heels are in, coming into your goddess. Pelvis is in neutral. And then this time, in our goddess, you're coming up onto the ball of that right foot, and you can just gently bring that knee in, so your movement from that right hip joint. And then the left knee up on the ball of the foot, and it comes in. So just pivoting on the ball of the foot. So now I've come back to the left, trying to keep that pelvis in neutral, so you really need to concentrate. You can see me concentrating. Just mobilising that hip joint. Let's do one more. Making a noise on my mat. And I'm still going to slowly release the arms, slowly come up, start. And then we're coming in to your warrior. Guys, we need to come into a left warrior because I did the right warrior last time. So I'm just going to switch my background. So left warrior, 2, step your base. Bringing that left hand down to the inside of their thigh, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Keep reaching up. And then from here, just that little side bend over, palms are facing out, coming into that triangle variation. And then just look down towards the floor, pivoting on that back foot. I'm bringing my right hand down and then on my left hand, so you're in that low lunge. Don't worry if you're at the back of your mat. And then bring that right knee down underneath that right hip. Slide in that left leg back, bring that right leg down, arm down to the floor, and then those single leg hip circles. And then changing direction. And then from here, just lower that leg down. Cat-cow, maybe on the forearms, maybe in tabletop. We're going for 3, so just taking your time. And then slowly, 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 wherever you are, we'll meet in tabletop, and then just wag those hips from side to side, checking in with how you're feeling. And then I'm tucking my toes, and I'm just slowly starting to come back into those rolling hip circles. And then from here, we're coming into a pigeon. So shoulders over the wrist. I'm sliding my left foot towards my left wrist. Now, we'll slowly bring back a foot. I'll show you a variation in a moment. And we're just going to meet on our lower arms. Now, if pigeon's not for you, you can just slide that left leg forward and you can come into like this mermaid 1990 here. So some people can bring the knee in line with the hip. If not, you can bring it forward because it might feel a little bit more comfortable. You could be here, you can come forward, you can rest your arms on a block. I've got mine on my lower leg, or you can bring them to the floor like so. So just a little variation. So wherever you are, just check in with that left knee, left ankle, checking in with that lower back. And I'm just having a gentle, gentle sway from side to side, checking in with that right side. Now, some people find it very uncomfortable to bring the top of the foot to the floor, so that right foot. So you can just tuck the toes if that feels more comfortable for your foot. Just gentle, gentle, gentle rock. And then from here, we're going to lean to the left, a big, 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 big lean. So you can slide this right leg forward, lengthen it out, or we can have some bend in it. And then you're just going to cross this leg over. You may be here, or you may be able to hug it in. Now, if I've got any pregnant mummies with me, you're not going to do this because your belly will be in the way. So you can just rest the leg here and have a gentle twist here. Or if it feels more comfortable, if you're pregnant, you can have an open twist and twist to the other side. So we're going to have a lovely long spine, weight even on both seat bones, crown of the head towards the ceiling. And I can feel it stretching around this area. You may feel it slightly different. And then we'll just slowly, slowly, slowly release. And then we're going to slowly lean to that left, sliding that right leg back and just very, very carefully, carefully, carefully crawling back to our pigeon or your pigeon variation. Just pause in here. And then we'll just slowly, slowly, slowly come all the way up, bringing that right knee in, sliding it back. And then we're coming into our tabletop hip circles in the other direction. Let's do one more circle. And then slide that right knee up, and then you'll slowly come into your pigeon, or you may be coming into this more of a 90-90. And then just checking in with that right knee, right ankle. Make any adjustments that you need to, checking in with the left side. And if you want a gentle little roll, you can, or you can stay still. And then we'll have a little roll to the right, making it into a little bit more of a bigger roll as you slowly slide that left foot forward, and then you're going to cross that right leg over, and then just give that leg a gentle hug, lovely long spine, crown of the head towards the ceiling, weight even on both seat bones. Now you can soften this lengthened leg, you can even roll up a towel, place it underneath, or a block. And then we're going to slowly release. And then we're just going to bring that foot back over, gently roll to the right. I'm bending that left leg as I'm sliding it back, and then I'm gently rolling towards the left, rolling back to the right, then coming to centre, just pausing here in your pigeon. Checking in again with that right side, checking in with the left side. And then just tuck those left toes, come into the palms, and then just slowly coming all the way back up to tabletop. If you need a little wiggle, have a little wiggle. Grab a drink if you need to, and then bring the hips to one side. Slowly come round, easy cross-legged. And then from here we just have a little sway to one side and then the other side. Lengthening out the spine, crown of the head towards the ceiling. And then next time you come over to the right, just pause here for a moment, just resting that right lower arm on that right thigh. Checking in with the head and neck. And then we'll just slowly come up, floating over to the left. Just keeping it all nice and soft. Checking in with that head and neck. And then we'll slowly come up, bring the fingertips behind you, just lift that chest, opening out that chest. Option to bring the palms to the floor. Option to float the hips off the floor if that feels comfortable for you. And then we're going to slowly come down onto our backs for our final relaxation. Now, if you're pregnant, I would invite you to come and roll onto your left side, maybe grab some pillows and put some blocks between the legs. If you've got any issues with your back, you can roll on whichever side feels comfortable for you. You can come into your traditional Shavasana, which is your legs out straight, heels to the bottom corners of the mat, or I'm coming into constructive rest pose, which is feet about shoulder width apart, turn the toes in slightly, allow the knees to rest together, it's that knock knee position, and then pelvis in neutral. You can bring the hands to the body, or you can bring the arms to the side with the palms facing the ceiling. Check that you're on the back of the head, not the crown of the head. And we're going to come back to our piercing the moon. So just inhale and exhale through both nostrils. And either the right thumb or the index finger to just gently close that right nostril. And then inhale through that left nostril. And exhale through that left nostril. Inhale, direct that breath wide and full, but visualize it coming up to the space between the eyebrows. And exhale. And I'm just going to carry on in your own time, inhaling and exhaling through that left nostril. And just release that right hand. Inhale and exhale through both nostrils. And just soften the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. Just soften the throat. Just allowing the shoulders, elbows, palms and fingers to soften. Soften the belly. Knees are soft, toes are soft. And just bring the awareness to the breath. That soft, easy breath, that natural breath. No forcing, no controlling. Just allowing yourself to rest. And bring your awareness to the air surrounding your body. Notice the temperature of the air, maybe any smells in the air surrounding you. And bring the awareness back to the breath, that natural breath, soft and easy. And then bring your awareness to the parts of your body in contact with your mat, to the ground, to the earth. And just bring the awareness back to the breath. And start to deepen our breath. And breathe to the sides and the back of the rib cage, breathing wide and full. Inhaling through the nose, soft, easy exhale with slightly parted lips. Keeping the breath slow, no rush in the breath. And just keeping that breath going, start to wiggle the fingers. Maybe wiggle the toes. If you don't fancy moving the fingers or the toes, just stay with the breath. And if you're wiggling, come to stillness. Now if you'd like to come into a full body stretch, please do so. Or maybe if your legs are long and like to bend the knees, feet flat on the floor, maybe you just gently bring the knees from side to side, just gently. Or maybe you'd like to give yourselves a big hug and you'd like to bring the knees in towards the body. And then maybe stay still, maybe you gently roll from side to side. So we're just coming out of our final relaxation, whichever movement feels right for you. Maybe it's just stillness, maybe it's that full body stretch, maybe that gentle knee roll, or that gentle hug. And then wherever you are, we'll just float the feet down to the floor. If they're off the floor, you just gently roll to one side, whichever side feels comfortable for you. Just pause for a second and then slowly push yourself all the way up. I'm just grabbing my cushion to sit on. And I'm on me. Easy seated, easy cross-legged, maybe you're kneeling. Weight even on both seat bones. Maybe a little wiggle from side to side, a little sway. Lovely long spine, crown of the head towards the ceiling. Shoulders are soft, elbows are soft. Check they're not jutting that chin up. Just that natural breath. And then take a nice big inhale, float the arms and fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Have a nice stretch here. And then your next exhale, bring the palms together, slowly bring the hands down through to heart center. And allow the palms to plug into the heartbeat. Fingers are soft, palms are soft, shoulders are soft. And just allow the elbows to point down. Just connecting to that heartbeat. And then take a nice deep breath in. Open the mouth, just let it out. Slowly bow the head towards the fingertips. Take a nice deep breath in. Open the mouth, just let it out. And then just slowly flutter the eyes open so you're gazing at your fingertips, maybe the mat. Thank you very much for allowing me to guide you through your practice. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you find peace within. Take a nice deep breath in and a big sigh out. Slowly, 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 slowly bring the head all the way up. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.